This podcast is for a mature audience and may be viewed as inappropriate or insensitive to some. Listener discretion is advised. The intention is to share conversation of like and unlike-minded individuals as they try to be the best them they can be in a life full of challenges, searching for love, acceptance, and positivity. Call 669-241-1422 and share yourself or catch up with Sweet Baby J for an anonymous face-to-face interview. Feel free to call in with questions, stories, thoughts, or anything you would love to talk about and share. Nothing is off the table when talking sweet with Sweet Baby J at 669-241-1422.
Ladies and gents and ladies, once again, you are here talking sweet with Sweet Baby J. As always, it's a no-face, no-case scenario here on Talking Sweet, where our guests have the opportunity to share or not their names. Young lady, would you like to share your name or not?
I don't think so.
I would say that's a smart move because you never know what you're going to say. So from what I understand, though, you are would that be a ballerina or you're a dance performer? Like, what exactly do you do?
Well, I would just call myself a dancer, plain and simple, even though I'm trained in ballet and jazz and contemporary and several other things. I would just say dancer overall.
What made you go through the gamut of different styles of dance as far as, or is there one that you perform more than others?
Well, I would say that ballet is definitely the foundation of everything that I do, or it's just the way I was trained. It was trained as my foundation. So I would do, during a normal rehearsal week, ballet every single morning as a warm-up or just like to work on my technique. And then afterwards, the rehearsal would consist of either ballet or contemporary ballet or jazz or anything like that.
Do you do this professionally as well?
I do.
Oh, wow. That's dope. Gotta say, that's pretty darn dope.
Thank you.
Yeah. When I was living in New York City and I would see anything that was ballet related or any performance I would see, Broadway, off Broadway, or any of the sorts, it seemed that there was definitely, I didn't see much black. Let's just say what it is. I didn't see much black in the ballet world. Is that something that you see currently? Is it something that's changing? Are there struggles are you black or are you white?
I'm actually biracial.
Okay. Did you ever deal with any issues while in the ballet world from your start to where you are now?
Oh, yeah, of course I have. A countless, probably. It definitely, I would say that it is becoming more diverse in the dance world. However, especially out here where I live, I classify the place I live as the corn. I would say that, a handful of black dancers probably in my whole overarching area.
So is it, being that you would say a handful, is there everyone trying to get these dancers, or are they fighting for so many roles? What's going on with that, with there being so few?
I really don't know. I think maybe the areas where there are dance schools for kids to start out when they're young are usually like rich white areas, and it's kind of hard to get access to a good school if you're not rich and white sometimes.
How do you determine whether a ballet school is a good school or just someone that's just doing an after-school activity for kids? How do you determine what's a good school?
That's a good question. I think that a good school to me is a school that has engaging teachers that really become a part of the student's life, not in an overreaching way, but a way that they really get to know the student and care about the student and help with each student's individual needs. And then also, what has the school produced before? What kind of results is the school getting after a student graduates? Are the students pursuing dance? Are they serious about it? And even if they're not, do they have a strong technique?
So when I first put my daughters into ballet, I have to say, it was good having them in something, but at the same time, I was really like, I do not think these girls are that interested, and this is whack. That was my perspective. And I recall when they were being taught how to do the splits, my daughters were crying, and it made me a little upset. But apparently that is a part of the process. Would you say so?
Doing the splits?
Well, doing the splits, like, it's difficult. You learning to do a split. Like, they were pushing them down and everything.
Oh, man. That's kind of actually, I think that's a little bit dangerous to just push a student down into the splits. It's you got to be gentle with those muscles. They pull and they tear. And that's kind of an old school training method, I would say, where people were forced into their stretches. And, some schools still do that. When I was a kid, we got pushed a little bit in our stretching positions. But, I think that now we're seeing a little bit more safer technique. That's probably not one of them. But yeah, there are a lot of emotional challenges in ballet. Like, can I do it? Like, even as a kid, like you wonder if you can do these really hard steps, and it's very emotionally challenging.
I really believe so. Both my daughters, the ballet school they were in before, they enjoyed it. It was cool. I think it was more of a social thing for them. But now the new school that they're in, they come home and they're like, look what I learned. And they are really engaged into it. And now even when we went to their first performance at this new school, it was such a drastic difference from the first school. And it was actually beautiful to see. I'm proud of them. So it really, I personally see the difference. But when we were shopping for their uniforms, trying to find uniforms that fit the color of their skin was very difficult. Have you seen that difficulty for yourself, or the changes over the years from when you first started to now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When I was a student, it definitely was pink tights was the option. And when I say pink, it's usually like a light peach situation that was meant to match a dancer's skin tone, to elongate their line so that their leg continued all the way to their foot through their shoe. And I was required to wear pink tights, and I never liked the way it looked on my skin. I hated it. And so I would always break dress code and wear like black tights in opposition to that. But still today, I have a hard time finding skin tone tights. I have to special order them, especially in my area where there aren't that many black dancers. They just don't carry them in the stores to this day, even after all of the attention that's been called to this kind of issue.
Yeah, so I've seen some of these dancers that have really said they're no longer wearing pink. They protested wearing pink. And some of them were blackballed. Some of them were really received a lot of negative attention, but at the same time, they received a lot of attention and backing from others because that inequality in just the uniform was clear.
Yeah, I think I would say for myself that I definitely decided one day in just this past year that I was like, I'm definitely not going to wear pink tights anymore. Like, what am I doing? This is silly. I don't have to do this. And no one today is going to make me do that. Not here, at least, not anyone that I work for.
Do you feel that for those that say just do it, just wear the pink, that they should change their mindset?
I think that's everyone's own personal journey. Like, I did just do the pink for forever, up until last year, and I've danced my whole life. So when you're ready to do that, you can do that. Or if you're lucky enough, your company will already be making those changes and saying, okay, we're moving from pink tights to everybody wears their skin tone tights. The company that I'm dancing for right now actually made that move this past year as well. And so there is no pink tight requirement at all.
Oh, so it is all based on the dance company.
Yeah, every company has their own director and their own set of rules and guidelines.
So who runs these companies? Like, is it usually run by white men, white women? Are there a mixture? Like, what type of people do you see in the hierarchy of these companies?
Well, directors are overall usually white men. However, I've actually worked for 2 women directors and one white man director in my life. And but I would say normally New York City Ballet, everywhere it's white male directors.
So would you say that there's a gender inequality that takes place in the ballet world as well?
Oh, of course. Yeah, like female and male dancers are trained differently from the very, very beginning. And I would say that men are valued more in the dance world, especially in ballet, because it's more rare to get a boy to train through and to become a professional dancer. And so since there fewer, they're in higher demand. So, of course, they always get offered more money and they always get offered lead roles. And the female dancers are just pretty
Replaceable.
hmm
There are not that many black females in the dance world operating at a professional level from what you've seen.
Yeah, not very many.
But there
Not very many at all.
are not very many males either, but yet the males get the pretty much, I guess I would say, the pick of the litter, and the
Definitely.
black females are not, or would you say they're treated or not treated the same way? When from what you're saying is that males are definitely, they get the pick of the litter. They're treated differently in the ballet world because of
For sure.
the slim pickings. But when it comes to black females, that is not, they don't get that same privilege. Would you say that is the case, or?
That is definitely the case. Definitely not the same privilege at all.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's obviously very, very upsetting. I mean, I know that me personally, I'm very, very passionate about dancing, and it's been my whole entire life, and I've given everything to it, and for it to not give back even kind of half of what I give to it is very upsetting, of course.
Have you ever tried to go abroad, overseas, or go to a big city like New York or California and perform where you could possibly broaden your horizon, make maybe a larger name for yourself?
No, I have not. I've not tried to do that. I enjoy the area that I'm dancing for, and the last company I danced with for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I loved it there, and I would have danced there forever. But then right towards the end of that is when the pandemic hit, and, I haven't left since then. And even if I did decide to go abroad, I just feel like I wouldn't enjoy the competition, how big the competition is out there. And like you said, like the men get the pick, and it just wouldn't be the kind of life I would want to live. Sounds stressful.
Well, you say you use the word competition. Do you feel that ballet dancers or ballet, would you consider it a competitive sport or form of art?
I would say that it's probably the best of both worlds. It's more than a sport. You have to be strong like an athlete. You have to be beautiful like an artist. You have to meld that together and find where those two things meet.
Oh, I definitely agree. I work in the medical field, and while I was working in New York City, I would have a lot of patients that were dancers. They dance ballet, and their feet their toes go through so much. I would be like, oh Lord. But is that the case? I mean, how does that feel? And like, oh my gosh, ooh, it looked painful.
Yeah, it can be. It can be very painful, but it's just part of the game. Like, you sacrifice. You don't get beautiful pedicures if you're a ballerina. Like that's your sacrifice. You just have strong feet. And I remember when I was a kid, in point shoes, that you have to wear a toe pad to like protect your toes, against that like wooden box.
Yeah.
But when we were kids and we were just starting off, our teacher decided that to make our feet stronger, we had to start off with no toe pads in our shoes, just to build callus and to scrape our feet off, until they really were strong enough to go up and down and not feel all of that. And we would come home with bloody toes every day,
wow,
for a while. And it was just like, all right, that's fine.
Wow. So you can build callus on your feet.
Absolutely.
So there's no concern about the long-term effects of that?
Yes, some dancers' feet end up pretty mangled by the end of their career, and they're just super weird, and they just don't wear sandals anymore.
I've seen it. I was like, oh Lord, who's massaging those feet right there, girl? Gosh, dang.
Oh yeah, and then there's those dancers that get bunions. Well, I'm so lucky to not be one of those. So I still have my foot is still shaped, I think, like a regular foot for now. So,
ooh, girl, I'm gonna pray for your feet. Okay, let's make sure your feet stay there. Wow, and
I'll take it.
And you're in a relationship?
Yeah, I am.
How is that doing ballet Does it have any impact on your relationship? When you guys met, was he expecting you to do all kinds of crazy stuff because you dance ballet and stuff like that?
No, no, I don't think so. He's a pretty good boy. But he actually is was a musician, and he was a drummer.
Oh,
So we were kind of doing really similar things, like kind of almost like gigs and like times and whatever. But as recently as the pandemic hit, he actually has stopped playing with his band for now, and we've transitioned. We've got like a little side hustle going on, and I still dance, just at less capacity, just because that's just the rules for right now. So I've had to try to like fill in all of my spare time, and yeah, I'm working on that right now as well.
dope. So when we were first talking, you mentioned something that I thought was pretty damn cool. You live in a tiny house?
Yes, I do. It is a tiny house. I would definitely say it's on the larger end of tiny house.
You said, so you live in a tiny house. About how big is it?
Oh, it's just under 400 square feet, like 375 square feet, maybe.
How do you guys pull this off?
I think that we all have a good amount of patience. It's me, my boyfriend, and my boyfriend's son, my very large dog, and my cat all together in this little house.
That's really, I want to say, five souls in a tiny space.
Yep. We have a tarantula too. So, I mean, if you want to count that.
You have a tarantula.
Yeah. Not my choice. I would never choose that. So.
Wow. You have a cat, a dog, and a tarantula, and three of you. Oh my gosh. You guys are braver than I in every way.
Yeah, well, thank you. It tests. I would say that we're pretty good at it.
So how it is?
I said it tests us a lot, but it's all right.
What made you guys choose a tiny house? As far as rather than going for a conventional house, and what was that journey like in saying, "Hey, we're going to do this"?
I think that similarly, my boyfriend and I don't have that much attachment to too many material things. I don't want to say we're minimalists and sound like annoying, but we really we don't keep a lot of stuff that's not important, really. We really try to utilize our space the best that we can. Like, we built a Murphy table for our kitchen table so we can put it down, like a standing desk. We've got corner shelves, and we utilize our outside space as we transition our entire lawn to food, because we think that we should be using that space for something besides just grass.
Cool. So you guys do a little bit of farming or plant,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So our side hustle is just like we.
You said you grow what?
Are tiny versions of vegetables with
Hold on,
like
you're breaking up. You said you grow what?
microgreens, which are tiny versions of just like larger vegetables.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello?
What did you say? You grow what?
We grow microgreens.
What are microgreens?
It's, a tiny version of just like regular vegetables. For example, a radish. It's just like the very first thing that pops out of the dirt if you plant a radish seed. And they're used as garnish for like fancy restaurants. And really, no, that's so weird. Hello?
You hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
You were saying that horseradish are like.
I was saying, for example, like if you were to plant a radish in the ground, a microgreen is the very first thing that pops out of the dirt, and it's got like 40 times the nutrients. So it's just super, super healthy.
Oh, wow. And you guys sell this at like, what do they call those markets?
Farmers market?
Yeah. So you guys sell them in like farmers markets and things like that?
Well, we are actually we just started this business this past year, and we are applying for our first farmers markets this summer.
Wow, pretty dope. COVID has forced you guys into finding a new source of income.
Yep, urban farming is the route that we decided to take. I like to play out. Yeah, I know that.
COVID has definitely forced you guys into a new market of finding, literally a new market, but it's working out for you guys, huh?
Yeah, it is. I'm completely surprised and blown away by where I am now. I never would have guessed this a year and a half ago, but I'm loving it, and I'm getting to dance on a bit of a smaller scale, but I'm also getting to explore other talents.
Dope. Gotta say.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
Thank
cool.
you.
I'm hearing about the life that you live, and it almost sounds like you should be on a TV show. Like, this sounds like a legit TV show. Like your boyfriend plays in a band. You are a dancer. You guys have a tarantula, a dog, a cat, a son, and at the same time, you guys live in a tiny house and you do farming. This sounds like a sitcom.
Yeah, now that you say it like that, it does sound pretty crazy, but it feels pretty normal to me. So,
well, yeah. Hey, listen, and it sounds dope. I gotta say, I like it. A lot of people spend so much time trying to accumulate so much material things, and at the same time, they lose sight of what's really happiness.
I'm definitely striving to not do that.
This journey is really working out for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm really happy. I'm really finding a balance in life, I think. Knock on wood. I don't want it to all come crashing down. I'm like, oh,
You
yeah,
never know,
everything's
right?
working out great.
Yeah, exactly, right? Then the wind just blew over the tiny house. Oh, gosh, no.
Right, yeah. Just no.
So your tiny house, what is it, the foundation? Is it like cinder blocks, or is it made out of wood, or like, how is that?
Yeah, I think there's cinder blocks down there. Honestly, this house was really poorly made. It's terrible. We tried to run a stud finder across our wall so we can hang stuff up, and there are none. I don't have no idea how this house is built, but
Wow.
we've had to make our own improvements along the way. We're having to insulate it ourselves. They never even did that. So it's really strange, but it's cheap. So
about how much did yours cost? How much is a tiny house?
Well, this tiny house was $25,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'll trade you, because listen, man. Listen, just to dodge this mortgage, hell, I do that shit.
Oh yeah, it's like, okay, yep, I'll give up stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because in reality, you give up stuff, you also give up some of the stresses of life, of higher mortgage, higher bills. You really do give up stuff, and in a positive way.
Yeah, trying to, and it's working out.
Nice. And at the same time, you are enjoying the world of dance despite all the challenges that you faced within the world of dance, and you're really enjoying it.
Yeah, I would say I am. It's been a journey, but we're doing okay.
So what was the worst thing that you've ever come across being a Black female or a biracial female in the dance world? What or the on your journey to dancing professionally, what was the toughest part for you?
I don't know if I could nail it down to one single situation.
We got time.
But,
you could give us top three.
A top three, I mean, I can just give you moments that just really stick out to me, that I remember, that have stuck with me for my entire life. I would say, starting when I was maybe 8 or 9, the dance studio that I was training with were about to do some promotional work for outreach programs that they were doing to reach out to underprivileged schools, and they wanted some kids to take some photos. So they picked some kids from the studio, just 3 white kids, and then myself as well. And I found that throughout my whole entire career, I've been just used as a face to show that this place has diversity, even though I've been either the only one or one of a few biracial or Black people in the vicinity. And it just felt always like a lie. They were like, oh yeah, we have to throw up in there, not because we appreciate her skills or talent, but because we need someone who looks different in this photo for any reason, for grant money, for applause, for praise, for anything. And it just really, and it's pretty unfortunate. It's weird. It makes me not know what my actual value is besides the color of my skin to some of these people.
I feel that.
But yeah, no, it's rough. And they asked us to have our hair down for this photo shoot, and I came with my curly hair down, and it's the first time some of the other moms had seen my hair like that. And I remember one mom was like, maybe you should put your hair up. Are you going to put your hair up? And I was like, what? No, why? Like, I was so excited about having my hair down at a ballet thing because that was a big deal. And you know, she was like, she told my grandma that she thought I looked homely, you know, with my hair the way it was. And it was just, you know, my natural curly hair. And, you know, I've never forgotten that. And it's just like moments like that that really, you know, make me sit back and look at my whole dance career, kind of, because they continue to happen.
It's painful to hear that. For me, I don't even dance. And it's just so disturbing to know that you would have to question your skills on why were you really put into this position or this opportunity? Was it because of my skills or because of my complexion? And then even when that's the case, oh no, your hair looks too homely. Did you tell everyone else that their hair looks too homely as well?
Yeah. And I still think about it, you know, every once in a while. And I mean, there are other situations where I've been literally told, oh, I can't cast you in that role. What would people think if I cast you in that role? The role was actually the maid, which was a super fun role in this ballet that we always did every year. And everybody would be like, oh, who gets to play the fun maid this year? My director said that she couldn't cast me in that role because people would think that she was racist if they had a black maid. And I was like, that's just so weird that I just can't be considered for this role because of this. I don't know. It's just weird and backwards and confusing. And yeah.
And this was a role that it's sounding like people wanted this role, but
yeah, you know, just a fun, silly side role that like the kids always looked forward to being able to play once they reached a certain age.
And because you were black, you would not get that role because the program director thought that they would be seen as racist because of that.
Yeah, if they had a black maid.
The double-edged sword. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It sucks.
Right. Yeah, it sure does.
I mean, sheesh. I don't even know what to say. It's so screwed up. Just society. I mean, just the fact that even for a role that you want that you can't get because of people in the powerful in the roles of making the decisions don't want to be seen away, even though that's not their intentions. It really is a double-edged sword.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's just really disappointing.
Yeah. So going through those disappointing moments, but yet you stick with it, you love it, you like what it provides for you. Do you ever think, why? Why do I love this if they don't love me the way that I want to be loved?
Oh, definitely. I would say that even when people just straight up look at me in the middle of rehearsal and ask, what are you? I still when I'm moving, it's just a way of communication that I feel like I'm better at than just talking to someone. And it feels really good to be able to work on something and get it right and be able to express yourself through that just in a releasing sort of way. I work really hard. I've always worked really hard at trying to like master some of this really hard profession. And I know that I deserve some of the things that I've been given, or hopefully most of them. But like, I hate that I have to question everything that I've been given because people straight up ask me to do things because I'm black. That I've literally been asked, can you do this because we need a black person in this. Can you do this? Yeah. So it's frustrating.
Do you come across a lot of the whole mean girls mentality?
I think that's always happened for everybody in dance. There's always the mean girls somewhere.
How do you handle them?
How do I handle them? You know, I keep to myself if I have to, or I don't know. I'm not bothered by it. I'm not really ever involved in drama, and if people are rude to me, then I mean I'll speak my mind, of course, but if we just have to like cross each other in passing, then
you don't give them a karate chop to the throat?
No, I'll save that for another day. I don't.
Well, you know,
I like to chill.
It's crazy because I can only imagine they're probably, because people always put these stereotypes that, oh, the black girl, don't mess with her. She'll probably, scratch your eyes out, or, I can only imagine that they also put these stereotypes on you as well. Do you run across that?
Definitely. I would say that, like, I just have, how do I say this? I just feel, people have made comments to me that it's just like, I can't even really put it into words, but it's just definitely happened. And I'm definitely seen differently than the other dancers.
Well, I'm going to have to say, I appreciate you so much for just sharing your world with me and the whole Talking Sweet Nation. Holla. Yeah, I really appreciate you for sharing the deep feelings that you share about what you love, what makes you feel happy, and the journey. I really appreciate you. And I just want to say thank you for sharing yourself on Talking Sweet. For anyone else that would like to ever do an anonymous episode, just hit me up, text me, 669-241-1422, and we can just get it.
Hey, thanks, Jay. It's been really great talking to you.
Oh, man, listen, I really appreciate you. I really hope that you continue on this path of happiness. I don't want to say minimalist because you don't want to say it, but I hope that you just continue on this path of learning new things and enjoying your life with those that love and respect you.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
That's about it.